Am I the butthole for telling small children who ask about my prosthetic leg that I'm a robot? I, 17F, have a prosthetic leg. I was in public today when a small girl, maybe 5, asked me what happened to my leg. I whispered I'm secretly a robot, don't tell anyone. Her eyes went real wide and she whispered back okay and scurried back to her mom. I always get a kick out of little kids' reactions. But then the lady standing behind me told me that I shouldn't lie to children like that and instead teach them acceptance and body positivity. I told her it's great to teach children that, but I just like to get a laugh when I can. I only do this sometimes when kids ask, it's really funny to see their reactions. AITA? NTA. One day that girl is going to know the real story and smile about robot lady. Her mother can teach her about the facts. 100,000,000% agree. You are teaching her body positivity. When she's old enough to understand, she will realize you're still a nice person and that having a prosthetic doesn't have to mean you become bitter. I love how the lady is preaching body positivity to the person who is literally physically disabled. NTA op, and yeah, I was thinking about how even if it's good intention to care about body positivity, telling someone they have to act a certain way because of their disability doesn't really seem accepting and open-minded. Able people assume disabled people are here to teach them about our struggles uncomfortably often. I'm hard of hearing and the only things I'm teaching random strangers is that only buttholes mumble while wearing a mask and some vulgar and mean sign language which is not being taught nicely if they don't start enunciating by the third what, I'm a lip reader speak up. I have crap to do, and maybe you should be aware of the fact that many 26-year-olds with the hearing of an 80-year-old aren't comfortable with their hearing loss. I am, but only because I've had 16 years to get used to it and my whole family is hard of hearing. This is an issue I run into a decent amount. It's like someone, minority, disabled, LGBT, is expected to all of a sudden be teacher to the world to make it woke. There is an uphill battle already, and now people are adding a burden of teaching to it? Some people are called and passionate about that advocacy and that's amazing and much needed. But that is a job unto itself. Sometimes others are happy living their life doing their thing and they don't need to be held to a pedestal-style standard to require to always be the ambassador. End of mini rant. I'm a disabled trans person and I get this from so many angles laughing my butt off it's wild. I'm in the trans camp with you. Some days I have an abundance of mental energy and don't mind advocating for the community. Most days though, just use Google. Trans solidarity hell yeah. If we're already having a conversation, I usually don't mind answering a few questions, but I'm not explaining crap to random strangers. Especially when they think why do you use a crutch is a good small talk topic. Absolutely. Nobody is required to be an educator for their own humanity and existence. I'm trans too, with an invisible disability, smiley face, sometimes I don't mind talking about it, most of the time I just have crap I have to get done and don't have the time or mental energy. Yeah, I'm actually trans in addition to being hard of hearing. Also gay. Living in rural Ohio was awkward. Thankfully these days I pass for just a tall cis woman who may have had some sort of hormonal I'm at some point. The only thing I want a disabled person to teach me is what they, specifically as an individual, need from me to make the situation work. I used to be a bank teller, and I was shy about it at first, but then I realized it was really easy to just ask. Like for someone who cannot hear well, I might ask, do you prefer to read my lips or is it better if I write? Or if someone is in a wheelchair and there's paperwork to be filled out, I would ask if they'd prefer we move to a desk or should I just grab them a clipboard? It's easy to accommodate someone without making it a thing, and once I got over my own hesitation and worry about accidentally offending someone for offering those accommodations it all got easy as pie. It's so easy to give just a little care to those around you, disabled or not, and you never know how much it means to them, or how much they will come to mean to you. Hey, as a disabled person, thank you. People like you are a breath of fresh air when encountered in the real world. So much easier and more comfortable for me too. And every other disabled person I know, for that matter. You are a good human. Thank you. Piggybacking off your point, able people need to show other able people how to do this. It normalizes understanding and acceptance faster, and keeps the emotional labor off of those who really don't have time to deal with our bullcrap. I work as a cashier, and between the masks, the mumbling, the sneeze guards of doom, and now the really ineffective welding faceplates, they're clear and flimsy plastic. That's not going to stop a wayward spark that they've given us to wear now that the holidays are upon us. Doom. There is no way my hard of hearing ass self can understand 2/3 of the people who come to my register. Apparently, between years of being the middle child, and the only girl smack dab between two brothers, and the fact that because I can't really hear myself I have managed to perfect the loud, carrying, but not actually shouting voice, so most of the time the customers actually can understand me. However, I do have to ask them to repeat themselves fairly often. I usually diffuse it by saying I'm sorry. It turns out I hear so much better when I can read lips. Would you mind repeating that? Yeah, many call it inspiration porn. Yeah, it's up to original post how to deal with it. Telling historically marginalized people what their incredibly narrow scope of opinion is allowed to be? 2020 has entered the chat. I feel like reframing it for her would have shut her up pretty quick. Ma'am, are you trying to police how a disabled person talks about their own disability? I would have asked her what part of her body she was obligated to preach positivity with. Or preaching robot positivity to the literal robot. I went with nah. My point was that they, mom and daughter, might have someone with a disability in the family, and mom has been trying to educate daughter about it. Now she has to explain that no, said relative is not secretly a robot too, laughing out loud. It wasn't the mom telling her not to lie to kids. It is not OP's job to help people educate their children about their disability. I understand where you're coming from, but if the mother sent the daughter to ask about this hoping original post would give the perfect answer and educate the child, then the mother is the odd in this whole situation, along with the other woman. That said, I think OP's answer was actually perfect for a 5-year-old, and as a mother I would have loved to witness that interaction. Good for OP. I was thinking this too. Original post had a fun answer, probably being asked by people, especially kids in this case, and it must have been tiring to explain it over and over again. Her answer was short and something a little kid would have enjoyed as well. Just because original post has a prosthetic leg doesn't mean she's responsible for educating every single person she encounters, especially when she's just trying to go about her day. The mom can talk to her kid about it when they get home anyway. I'm sure there are videos of people wearing prosthetics explaining about their experiences that they can watch so they can learn more about it without disturbing someone who may or may not be comfortable talking about it in the first place. The other lady is just nosy and annoying. Or if, God forbid, she ever has to amputate something, she may console herself with the idea of being a robot too. When my mom had to get a knee replacement, we started referring to her as the bionic grandma. In my family, that's an improvement over saying someone is old enough to have been a crossing guard at the Red Sea. Crossing guard at the Red Sea, oh my gosh, that's funny. We had a history teacher in junior high school that, we swore, learned all about history by watching it happen since the day he rode down on the glacier. That was exactly what I was thinking. Also, original post is 17. That rude, nosy lady needs to let her enjoy being a child as well with the remaining months she has before reaching age of majority. Crap if I lose my limb on doing this even if I'm 80. No need to stop having fun as a grown-up. I had a friend who had lost both of his legs. He was in his 50s and used to tell people that they were bitten off by a shark. Surprisingly, people who were in their 20s believed him. It was hilarious. You can always have a bit of fun with stuff like that if you want to at any age. One day that girl will invent full mechanical post-human body so people will live forever. This will be the rise they talk about when the robots take over. Original post is in the loop. We must stop it now. I've seen the movies about it. Trust me, it doesn't end well for humans. Please stop it, Skynet already observe us. Absolutely. This poster gave that little girl a moment of childhood whim she'll remember for a long time. Of course, if the kids are scared out of their minds, that's another story, but if they're that young they shouldn't be familiar with the evil robots like those in the Alien and Terminator series anyway. Agreed. NTA. Also, it's not that woman's leg, it's not that woman's kid, and it's also not her damn business. Take my upvote. You said it all in few words. NTA. This is a great perspective on the matter. Plus, it is showing body positivity because you can laugh at yourself. You shouldn't also be the one to teach someone about your leg, you are allowed to have fun with it. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Original post made that little girl feel special and made the experience about seeing a prosthetic leg for the first really cool. If original post didn't have body positivity, she'd be hiding her leg and this situation would have never occurred. I'm not a fan of lying to children, but this is a light-hearted approach to a question original post is likely asked frequently by children, and it's probably somewhat true. Modern prosthetics are pretty amazing pieces of technology, and if original post wants to be a robot, all the power to her. Uda, you're a cyborg, not a robot. If you're going to tell stories, tell the right ones. For bonus points, tell the kid that they must assimilate and that resistance is futile. No way, Mom. This is who I am. It's not a phase, Mom. Phaser. Set your phaser to stun, because you look punk as hell. They've adapted. Congratulations, you are being rescued. Please do not resist. Star Wars, The Borg Wars. I would unironically binge the hell out of that. A Borg Jedi would be terrifying. I want one. Come with me if you want to live. I like this response. Rare Uda, that is so wholesome. Take my upvote. Lol, this sub will take an upvote as I agree. Original post is the a-hole. Imagine if this becomes top comment. I dated a guy with a prosthetic, and when I met him I was like, oh, so you're a cyborg. That's dope. He told me much later that a lot of women wouldn't date him because of his leg, and I was baffled. Who wouldn't date a cyborg? Who wouldn't date a cyborg? Captcha. Captcha is pretty. I like. So true. I have a cyborg in my family and I call them that all the time. Around our friends even, lol. Literally the only appropriate answer on this thread. How do you know that her fleshy looking bits are actual flesh? Maybe her skin is just something to make her look fleshy? They're LMDs, damn it. Like a Terminator? I would like to say that this person is not in the majority, and when our robot overlords take over I will support the new masters fully. Brown noser. I don't think they poop. That's the oil. They had us in the first line, not going to lie. Hey man, if she identifies as android, that is her deal, lol. NTA. It's not your responsibility to teach anybody's children anything. And I've seen enough posts here to know that if you told the child the truth, you'd get in trouble for sharing personal and potentially gory medical information with someone who's only just old enough to use the bathroom without supervision. Couldn't agree more. People should also teach their kids to ask people questions about their bodies, but I did it as a kid too, everyone does. Original post, you are not the butthole, and I'm glad you find humor in it and can have some fun rather than getting offended or uncomfortable. I hope that one lady didn't ruin it for you. Also 100%, right about possibly getting ripped into for telling the kid what happened. I think asking questions is fine, it's just how they are asked. Curiosity isn't a sin, but rudeness is. I mean, from what I've heard from people with visible physical differences like missing a limb, they'd rather the kid just ask because they know they aren't malicious, rather than just stand their bug eyes because they think they shouldn't say anything, or see the kid ask their mom and then mom freak out and shush them. Kids are going to be curious regardless, so what's a better way to handle it other than head on? Honestly, I think original post should have turned to the lady and went, but I am a robot. NTA. It's not your job to teach kids about prosthetics, etc. My cousin has scars all over his legs from multiple surgeries, and he always had his nieces and nephews convinced they were from fighting animals in the jungle. My grandfather has some seriously gnarly scars on his stomach from multiple childhood surgeries. He used to tell little kids who'd ask him at the beach that he was shot with a machine gun in the war, laughing out loud. My dad lost 3 fingers in a car accident in his early teens. 1. Silver lining. Hated playing piano and didn't have to practice anymore. 2. Told kids who asked that I lost this one from playing with matches, and this one from All the crap kids aren't supposed to play with. FYI, that can backfire. They showed us pictures like that in school as a warning about what not to do with firecrackers, and my brother was of the mindset you can make them better. And proceeded to make a pipe bomb, rolling eyes face. Your brother is an ingenious person, congrats. Unless he's like my uncle, blew off his fingers while making a pipe bomb. ATF and FBI have entered the chat. Laughing my butt off, your dad is savage. I have a scar on the side of the neck from a mandibular distraction. Boring. So I tell kids I fought a bear. My country doesn't even have bears. My country doesn't even have bears anymore. You're welcome. Every country has bears. It's just that you're just more likely to find some of them at a gay bar than in the woods. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.